the other side of the ball. Seattle looked exposed because many have not managed their expectations of the Super Bowl champions. They seemed unstoppable. They seemed to have the Legion of Boom, still the best secondary in football. But after Dallas beat them at home, now they seem exposed. Doug Baldwin says we have to quit BSing ourselves. We've got to be real with ourselves. When we get in the meeting room, we've got to actually pay attention to things and not blow smoke up our tails that everything's going to be all right. Things aren't going right. Pay attention to things that we're not doing right and correct them. We had plenty of time to make plays. We've got too much talent not to be moving the expletive ball. I'm not mad at Russ. It's a collaborative thing. Skip Bayless, how vulnerable are the Seahawks?
Stephen A. Smith, they're extremely vulnerable when the Legion of Boom gets doomed on third down. The two losses are very simply explained for me. San Diego, obviously at San Diego, was 10 out of 17 on third down. Controlled the ball 42 minutes to Seattle's 18 minutes. Yesterday on third down, Tony Romo went Phillip Rivers on the Legion of Boom. 10 out of 17 on third down were the Dallas Cowboys. So Dallas controlled the ball 38 minutes to Russell Wilson's mere 22 minutes. So it's simply a matter of, Kerry just said they're the best, still the best secondary in football. I don't know. They're not playing like the best secondary because they're giving up way too many third down conversions. In the league right now, they're giving up the sixth highest third down conversions. 47.3% of the time, the opponent converts on third down. If that's going to keep happening in their big games against the San Francisco, against an Arizona, they're going to have a hard time because Russell and company just don't have the ball enough. And Russell wasn't very good when he did have the ball yesterday, and he did look like an undersized quarterback. He's 14 of 28 for 126, but he made that beautiful early throw to Curse for 53 yards. So he was actually 13 of 27 for all of 73 yards if you take that one throw away. Percy Harvin, I've talked about since preseason, is the X factor for this team. You have to get him the ball where he can do some damage. He can't break tackles, but he can sure run around and through people if you get him in the open field. Yesterday, he rushed 3 times from -1, tribute to Rod Marinelli and the defense. He caught 4 passes for all of 3 yards, did Percy Harvin. So the problems are Dallas is converting and San Diego is converting like crazy on third down, like you're a bad defense, and you're not getting Percy Harvin free on offense. The equation for that is you're going to lose a game on the road at San Diego against a good team, and you're going to lose a game at home to Dallas, becoming a good team. Your thoughts?
Totally agree with you. Was incredibly disappointed with Seattle yesterday, obviously so. I'm going to put a lot of this on Russell Wilson as well because we've been raving about him and called him a top 4 candidate for league MVP honors going into this weekend's game. So why can't we sit there and call him on the carpet for his lack of production yesterday? What I saw when I saw Doug Baldwin getting in his face and talking to him, when I read those quotes, when I see the absence of production from the electric Percy Harvin. Obviously, you can look at Pavel, the offensive coordinator, but you can look at Pete Carroll. But I'm also looking at Russell Wilson, who's shown an ability and a propensity to make things happen. Yet people seem to be trying to egg him on, to get him going. Last time I checked, that should be what the quarterback should be doing with the guys. It shouldn't be the other way around. So I was incredibly disappointed with his performance. I still believe in him. It's just one game. It's nothing to, to write off the season about or what have you. But again, when you are undersized as a defense, when your success is predicated on your ability to tackle and the speed, and yet you're being worn down because you can't get them off the field. When you get on the field as an offense, you've got to find a way to do the same. You look at beast mode, Marshawn Lynch. I mean, the fact is, you take away, Skip, his 32-yard run. What did he have? 9 rushes for 29 yards outside of that 132-yard run. You need more. from Marshawn Lynch. You need more from Percy Harvin. But the person to facilitate all of that is Russell Westbrook because of his ability to move the chains. Nobody figured out what Dallas was doing to them. They seemed lost throughout the game, but more importantly, they seemed unenthused. And I was shocked to see that. It's almost like Dallas took their heart. I don't want to say that definitively because these are the Legion of Boom and the Seattle Seahawks that we're talking about here. But at the same time, that's how it looked to the mind's eye. In the second half of this game, it almost looked like Seattle didn't want to be there. Seriously. And I was just stunned to witness that. And so when I see something like that, and you're a guy like Russell Wilson with the abilities that you have, and you can't do anything, something's wrong with that picture. Something's wrong because Baldwin can play. You've got Percy Harvin. We know what he could do. You know what Lynch could do. And Russell Wilson is a top 4 league MVP candidate, according to everybody else prior to yesterday's game.
Yep.
So you whatever you were, you certainly are not that now because you got exposed. Why did you get exposed? That, to me, was what this comes down to.
Bottom line for me, I think the Seahawks were as confident going into this game as you were confident in them winning by a lot in this game.
Maybe so, but what I'm saying is, Skip, if you're confident and then all of a sudden, you might have taken somebody for granted, but the game is 60 minutes. And I'm telling you that as of the second quarter, you knew that this was going to be different. You're up 10-0, okay? Basically, the blocked punt, what have you, get in there for a touchdown, you got a field goal, you're up 10-0. And here comes Dallas storming back. They march right down the field. Like you said, an 80-yard drive, an 80-yard drive, an 80-yard drive, a 71-yard drive. I'm saying, you look at what they're doing, clearly they weren't playing. It didn't take you the full game to notice that. And I'm saying to you, over the course of that 60 minutes, I saw guys that looked like they didn't want to be there. They looked literally like they didn't want to be there. And a massive offensive line can do that to you. The Redskins with the Hogs taught us that years ago. The Dallas Cowboys with Emmitt Smith taught us that years ago. When you are a team, San Francisco for the most part, over the last 2-3 years with their offensive line, when you've got a massive offensive line that is willing to punch you in the face and move the chains, it can demoralize a team because it also serves to embolden the defense.
It does.
And I think that's some of the things that we were witnessing yesterday.
When you have the new beast mode, as in DeMarco Murray, he punished that defense and punished those secondary defenders and tacklers, the second-level defenders and tacklers, all day long until that final drive. They were basically finally said, no moss. We just can't tackle him anymore. What
I saw when the reason why I say the offensive line even more so than Murray is because I saw when Dunbar or Randall touched the ball and they looked effective because that offensive line was beating Seattle up.
Yep.
All right, sharing the blame for the loss. When Richard Sherman has multiple penalties, Seahawks are 1-5. Let's stay in the NFC, shall we? There was plenty